Good afternoon, or good morning rather. I'm Taylor Combaluzier, a mining analyst at Red Cloud Securities. Our next presenters are Kleber Cardoso, who's the CFO, as well as Gabriel Catalani from Aura Minerals. Aura is a gold and copper producer that operates the Aranzazu mine in Mexico, the San Andreas mine in Honduras, and the EPP mine complex in Brazil. It is also developing the Almas and Matupa projects in Brazil as well. Kleber and Gabriel, you will have 15 minutes and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please take it away.
Thank you. Thanks, Taylor. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us here today and give the opportunity to talk about Aura Minerals to this audience this morning. I'd like to introduce my presentation, introducing Aura for those who are not familiar with the company. So Aura is a growing company that produces gold and copper throughout the Americas. We have operating assets in Aranzazu, Mexico is a gold and copper mine. In Honduras, the San Andreas gold mine, and in Brazil is the third operating asset, the EPP gold mine. Other than these three operating assets, we have 4 projects which are going to help in the growth of the company in the years to come. We are the Matupa project, also located in Brazil. It's under construction. Currently, we expect to put in production by the middle of 2023. We have the Matupa project, is also a good project, also in Brazil. It's currently, we recently issued a preliminary economic assessment on Matupa and are working currently on a feasibility study, which should be completed by the middle of this year. And we expect to put Matupa in production in the middle of 2024. Other than Almas and Matupa, we also had 2 other projects, the São Francisco gold mine in Brazil. It's a mine currently in care maintenance. We're studying the possibility to put São Francisco back in production in the near future. And we have the Toda Fria project in Colombia. In 2021, Aura recorded $445 million in revenues out of those 3 mines in operations and $185 million in EBITDA. We are pretty much a levered company. Our net debt over EBITDA is close to 0. We do have debt. We have close to $160 million in debt, but we also have an equivalent amount in cash and cash equivalents, which are going to help fund Almas and Matupa projects. In terms of our breakdown of our production revenues, in terms of geographies and in terms of metals, we can see here on the right side of the page, in 2021, 40% of our revenues came from Mexico in terms of gold equivalent production, 33% came from Honduras, and 23% came from Brazil. In the years to come, of course, we expect Brazil to increase as we put Almas and Matupa project in operations. We had a small portion from the US. It's a mine that was discontinued and is currently in care and maintenance. In terms of breakdown of revenues by metal type, 76% of our revenues came from gold. Brazil and Honduras, the main metal is gold, and 24% of our revenues came from copper, that is mainly produced in our mine in Mexico. And Aura is a growing story. We produce close to 270,000 ounces of gold equivalents in 2021. That represents over 100% production increase in just 3 years since 2018. Into 2024, we have plans to exceed 400,000 ounces of gold equivalent in production. Would be another 50% increase in production compared to 2021 numbers by putting in production some of those projects that I was explaining, mainly the project Almas and the project Matupa. In terms of dividends, Aura paid $85 million in dividends in 2021. That represents a dividend yield of 13.5%. That was the highest dividend yield among gold mining producers listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange in 2021. So we can say that Aura, besides being a growth story, has been also a dividend story. We were ranked #1 on the TSX 30 ranking. So the TSX 30 ranking, they take the best stock performance over a period of 3 years. The latest ranking was released in the second half of 2021. Aura ranked in first place ahead of Shopify, for example, and all other high-performance stocks on the Toronto Stock Exchange over the last 3 years. So we were #1 in the whole stock exchange for that period. A little bit more in details, a little bit of our growth plan. As I said before in the first slide, we grew our production by over 100% between 2018 to 2021. Between 21 and 22, there will be a slight increase, but we expect it to be a more stable year. We release our guidance to the market where we expect to produce between 260 and 209,000 ounces of gold equivalent this year. And we'll be focusing on the construction of Almas. Almas, we should build Almas mostly in 2022 and a little bit in the first quarter of 2023. When Almas goes to production, which should be the second half, the second quarter of 2023, it should have an annualized production in 50,000, 60,000 ounces of gold. Matupá, as I said, is under feasibility study, should go into production at some time in 2024. Matupá should add another, or more or less, 60,000 ounces of production per year to our reserves. So only considering Almas and Matupá in the current production, we should be able to push our production to over 400,000 ounces of gold equivalents on an annualized basis in 2024. And we also have some internal management targets to exceed that number, trying to reach close to 408,000 ounces of gold by either pushing production San Francisco, bringing production in San Francisco back, or achieving some marginal increases in the 3 mines currently in operations. We have some opportunities, we see some opportunities of short-term increases also in the 3 mines under operation. In terms of reserves and resources, although we are growing our production year by year, that doesn't mean we're reducing the reserves and resources of the company. That's quite the opposite. We bring here the evolution of the reserves and resources base between 2017 and 2020. We see actually our reserves and resources base increased by 30% in those 3 years. We still don't have 2021 here, but because we're working on information to release on the next AIF, expect to be released by the end of this month. But we see and we expect this trend of increasing in more than replenishing the gold that it has been mined by the mines to continue as we're increasing the investment in exploration. So here on the bottom of the page, we see that Aura has increased almost 3 times in 2021, the investments in exploratory activities compared to 2017 or 2016. In 22, we already also released to the markets our guidance. We expect to invest another, to exceed investments in exploration again, $20 million. So this trend of increasing production, but at the same time increasing the reserves, the resources, and the life of mine is something we expect to keep seeing in the short term. Gabriel, do you want to comment a little bit? We want to present a little bit more details on the expected returns for our projects. So Gabriel is our head of investor relations. He can guide us through.
Yeah, so one of our main pillars is to have great assets, and to improve profitability of our project and our assets. This shows all the most recent projects from the sector with our peers, including brownfield and greenfield. With the projects that has been published, released within the last 3 years, approximately. So if you see our project in Mexico, Aranzazu, the restart of Aranzazu, we had reached an index of 5.6 times capex NPV over capex, and with a greenfield, which is Almas here. So we have an expected NPV of $260 million for a project that we will spend $72 million of implementation capex. So this is the type of project that we try to develop. Once we had we included Almas within our portfolio, the capex was way above that level, but we try to compact, we try to optimize that project, always looking into profitability, always looking into cash optimization of cash flows, and the results is such a project with such a high level of NPV over capex, and that result was built within Aura, within with our team developing and improving and optimizing this project. Another project is Matupá that we are expecting to start construction in 2023. Matupá is a project in Brazil. The life of mine of Matupá is not that large as such as Almas, although Matupá is a very low cash cost project with the same level of production as Almas. But Matupá, we decided to start construction and start production of this project with a life of mine of around 7 years. The project is expected to generate strong cash flows within the first 3 years. Matupá is a project with a low cash cost, and it will potentially generate lots of cash. And with that cash, with the first 3 years, we are aiming to develop and to intensify exploration expenses in order to expand that life of mine of that project. This is a type of methodology that we use in order to optimize the value of our projects. Another metric that we use is the next slide with the IRR. So you'll see also Aranzazu as the first project with 200% of annual IRR. We have Almas with 57% unlevered, but if you consider the leveraged index with 50% of capital coming from debt, this IRR goes above 100% of IRR within the year. Matupá as well, with this 39% of IRR is an unlevered index, but if you leveraged Matupá for 50%, it goes above 70%. So we are always aiming to deliver high returns for our projects, and our current portfolio already delivers a very high return to our stakeholders. The next, so
just to add one, the gold prices we use are 50-50 for us on all the years on the projections. So it's like much lower than current prices. We know not all projects here, some of them are more optimistic in terms of gold prices. So if we consider current prices, a internal rate of return, even on leverage, would go above 80%.
Yeah. And to emphasize our increase of profitability and our expectation to increase margins, increase returns, is our trend of reducing our cash costs. So we are currently at we were back in 2020 in the middle of the third quartile of cash cost. 2021 we closed 2021 at a level of $800 per ounce, which takes us closer to the second quartile. Almas and Matupá, they are both projects within the first quartile. So we expect for the next years, with optimizing our current operations, with the start of Almas, and then after with the start of Matupá, for us to take Aura to the second quartile, and always improving and reducing our cash cost, improving as consequence our margins and the profitability and the returns for the stakeholder. And then as a consequence of our growth, we expect that that there's a lot yet to be delivered to the investors. So now at this moment we are discounted in comparison to peers, both in terms of price over NAV, as in terms of price over cash flows. In 10 days ago, we were 26% discounted in comparison to average. Most likely at this point, the discount is above that level as of today. For price over cash flow, we are 50% discounted in comparison to peers, right? And then we do consider that once we reach and we deliver the growth that we are promising, reaching a level of above 400,000 ounces per year, and we also start trading above $5 million a day, we will be able to reach the different peers, and that will bring us some premium to our multiple. And the right chart demonstrates how that's a correct idea, is that the peers that trade above 5 million and that produce more than 400,000 ounces, they are all priced with a way higher multiple in comparison to the other companies that don't. So we are aiming by 2024 reaching that both levels, and we assume that by then we will be able to receive not even to close the gap for our discount in comparison to peers, but also to be evaluated as with a different peers, and increase the premium, the perception of premium into our share price.
And finally, to close our presentation, we would like to share with you our 360 mining concept. So this is one slide that we bring in all our internal presentations for every talk. That is much more than ESG. It's a much broader concept. We always ask ourselves, okay, what are the impacts of our decisions to, for example, the community? In the community, I mean both the social side, the local communities, but also on the environment that we're part of. Also on the employees, we need to take in consideration the impact of our ideas and decisions on the safety of our employees. The safety of our employees is our #1 priority. And also on the development and retention of our talents. We have a meritocratic culture. We do reward high performance, and high performance is not just measured on things that have a positive P&L impact, but also on ideas, actions in projects which increase safety and increase the impact on the communities. So that's also taking consideration, and also, of course, taking consideration what's good for the company in terms of shareholder return, because we all work to maximize shareholder return, but also what kind of innovation, an idea, one project, or one action can bring to the company, can bring to the industry. What's the impact in terms of corporate governance? So all of that, as I said before, they are our values. This 360 mining. It's part of our recruiting process. It's part of as I said before, in all our internal presentations. So we would like to share with you this concept as we close our presentation to show how we're growing. We're taking considerations these values during this growth projects. And with this, we end our presentation.
Great, thank you very much, Kleber and Gabrielle. We are right out of time, unfortunately, so we will have to leave it there, but thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you.